Hello, welcome to Personal Health Concerns final presentation, Hypoglycemia by Melissa Savini. Holistic health is all about our health and well-being as a whole, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness, as well as our lifestyle and dietary choices. It's the factors that affect our life on every level, seen and unseen, and the connections between our health and our mind, body, and spirit. Now, in this presentation, we'll take a look at examining the history of holism and vitalism and comparing the different paradigms of holistic and conventional medicine, and also through determinants of holistic health. What I shall do is ascertain some holistic approaches that can help treat and or prevent my hypoglycemia concerns. I hope you enjoy. First, let's take a look at the history and philosophy of holism. Now, holism has an ancient history, yet it continues to hold a strong presence even into modern medical healing circles. There's been evidence found through several documented papyri how herbs and natural healing methods were used only by special healers in ancient Egypt and Greece. Then, during the medieval period, medicine was influenced by movement of education and hospitals. And this burst of medical knowledge continued for over 3 centuries, until consequently emerging the biomedical stray from holism. Now, towards the end of the 20th century, infectious disease epidemics in the 20th centuries ended up rekindling the use of holism. Now, it was those philosophies of holism that influenced biomedicine. Some of those holistic philosophies are how connections of our mind and body affect our health, and how it takes into account internal and external determinants, and the philosophy about existence of energetic and spiritual dimensions in life. Next, let's take a look at vitalism. Vitalism is based on a body's natural ability to heal itself, as holistic in the absolute means. It is the vital life force within us. It's the duality of spirit and body. It's also called vis. Vitalism it makes up things like our environment, our beliefs, our interactions with others, our own actions, our lifestyle, diet, those kinds of things which modulate and the manifestation of our vitality. Now, the vitality and vitalism also have determinants in holistic health. Now, determinants of holistic health are things that contribute to or they make up our health. These are such things as our genetics and family history, environment and socioeconomics, our self-care and spiritual practices, our diet and natural remedies. Those are all determinants of holistic health. Now, as far as my personal determinants of my hypoglycemia, those would be things like my genetics, my stress, and my diet. Now, my maternal and maternal history of borderline diabetes would be my genetics and family history. And then my stress levels would be my environment, socioeconomics, and dietary choices are obviously diet and natural things that play a factor into those symptoms. But based on those holistic determinants, what I've done is I've implemented my own holistic self-care practices of adjusting my diet, which includes less sugar and simple carbohydrates, and now has more increased intake of proteins. I've also been taking some herbal supplements of cinnamon and ashwagandha. Now let's take a look at how those self-care practices have improved. Those holistic self-care practices result in some very positive effects. I have more energy, I have more controlled and predictable appetites, more steady blood sugar levels. In fact, my blood glucose levels are now at 73. Granted, that's only slightly above the lowest range of 70 milligrams. However, at least it's within a normal acceptable level now after those self-care practices. Okay, hypoglycemia and holism. What is hypoglycemia? It's basically low blood sugar. It's due to abnormal hormone levels or sensitivity to certain body hormones, It can even be done by gastric surgery, some disorders or tumors of the thyroid, pituitary, or pancreas, and or genetic disorders interfering with the body's ability to break down the certain food substances like fruit sugars. Now, some symptoms of hypoglycemia is when a person feels shaky, and hunger, lightheadedness, sweating, and even in severe cases, a person may even pass out. Luckily, though, there are several excellent ways to treat and prevent hypoglycemia holistically. Let's take a look at some holistic treatments of hypoglycemia. We have diet, snacks, herbal supplements. Test and monitor your blood glucose regularly. Now, one of the main key things is meal plans are essential for the treatment and prevention of hypoglycemia. WebMD recommends to eat regular meals, at least 6 to 8 per day. Have enough food at each meal, and those meals should contain more protein and less carbs. And most important, try not to ever skip meals or snacks. But in the case that does happen, some snacks that will raise the blood sugar quickly are a tablespoon of honey or sugar, a quarter cup of raisins, or half a cup of orange juice or soda. And some vitamins and herbs that are great are cinnamon, angostura bitters, artichoke leaves, gentian root, bilberry, and wild yams. And don't forget to monitor the blood sugar levels regularly. Now, monitoring your blood glucose levels is just by taking a simple blood glucose test, which is something that I should be doing, and I did go to the doctor, and I found at least my levels are within a normal range now. Now, in conclusion, we can clearly see how holistic health is all about our health and well-being as a whole, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness, as well as our lifestyle and dietary choices. And holistically, we should live by preventative means and concentrate on healing the self rather than curing the disease. It's true, life is not perfect, and we all have our own personal health concerns, no matter how healthy we think we are. As for my personal health concern of hypoglycemia, I examined the history of holism and vitalism, compared the different paradigms of holistic and conventional medicine, and through determinants of holistic health, I created some holistic approaches that have treated and helped to prevent my concerns regarding my hypoglycemia. It's helped treat it through my mind, my body, and my spirit. I thank you. I thank you for the wonderful opportunity to have taken this holistic class. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best.